Hi, I'm Grace and these are my love pills. Today I want to talk to you about the origin of the conclave, but before giving the floor to the captain of the people Raniero Gatti, I'll show you where, in history, the events took place. At the end of the video you'll see the places. Enjoy your dive into the past and may God bless you.
I am Raniero Gatti the Younger, and I am the captain of the people of the city of Viterbo. Today I will tell you how the people of Viterbo brought some sense into a small group of quarrelsome and obstinate cardinals. Let's start in order. In the beginning, the Pope was elected by the clergy and the people of the Christian community of Rome. The laity were excluded from the electoral process after the 8th century due to political interference, but it was in 1059 that Pope Nicholas II, with a decree, granted the right to elect the Pope to the cardinal bishops only. Later, in 1179, Pope Alexander III established the rule of a two-thirds majority of the College of Cardinals for the papal election. Now let's come to my days. Everything begins at the end of the year 1268 when the first real conclave of cardinals met in Viterbo, from the Latin expression clausi cum clave, that is, closed with a key, for the election of the Pope. With the death of Clement IV in Viterbo on November 29, 1268, the longest sede vacantia in history began. In fact, a handful of cardinals met for the election but argued for more than 2.5 years. The cardinals, it must be said, voluntarily decided to close themselves in seclusion for the choice of the new pope and made an agreement with the podesta of the city and with the captain of the people of Viterbo, that is me, to guarantee the tranquility of the cardinals and to protect the control of the roads, so as to make it possible and safe to reach the papal curia. But time passed in vain, because among the cardinals maxima est discordia, discord is maximum, as one source cites. After about a year, things worsened. The podesta of Viterbo, Corrado di Alviano, had the cardinals physically locked in the papal palace, who reacted by excommunicating him. The people were unhappy. With the city at the disposal of the cardinals, life was not the same. In 1270 the cup was full and I and the citizens uncovered the roof of the hall and the cardinals' lodgings, making the private rooms with the toilets unusable. The cardinals were disheartened, but it was June. The anger of the imprisoned cardinals was high and they were forced to erect tents to protect themselves from the weather and the sun. Would you believe it? They continued to argue for another year. In the meantime, exposed to bad weather, 2 of them left, one because he got sick, the other because he died. There were 17 left. However, although forced to such a restriction, the cardinals could not bring themselves to find the worthy successor of Peter, and so the people of Viterbo, composed of energetic and determined citizens, rationed the food to the cardinals. The cardinals asked, of course, for the roof to be covered, threatening excommunications and confiscation of property to the new podesta Alberto di Montebuono of Arezzo and to the captain of the people Raniero Gatti, me, to his brother Viscount, to the councillors of the municipality, to the bailiffs and to the heads of the corporations, and so on. There were a hail of threats of excommunication, but the nomination of the Pope still did not arrive. Another year passed, without a roof, locked inside on bread and water. They continued to argue while outside external pressure was triggered by Charles I of Anjou and Philip III the Bold. But a dramatic turn of events occurred on March 13, 1271. The assassination of Henry of Cornwall by Guy de Montfort, vicar in Tuscany of Charles of Anjou, killed in the church of San Silvestro, a few steps from the Conclave. The Cardinals began to waver but dragged out the process until September 1, 1271, when Teobaldo Visconti was elected Pope, well regarded by both the French and English rulers, who was in the Holy Land at the time of the election and who took the name of Gregory X. The story that introduced the conclave lasted 2 years and 9 months, and if the cardinal authority did not produce wisdom, the people responded decisively to the lack of common sense. Now you know why it's called conclave. Blessings.